Hey guys, let's get more news about Miami Heat, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Heat's Terry Rozier, Tyler Herro received mixed bag of injury updates versus Blazers. Before the Miami Heat face off on the tail end of a back-to-back against the Portland Trail Blazers, they have announced some crucial news about key players in terms of their availability Tuesday night. The team is coming off of a huge victory over the Sacramento Kings, where they missed stars due to suspensions and injuries like Terry Rozier, Tyler Herro, Jimmy Butler, and more. When talking about injuries specifically, Rozier has been cleared and is listed as available to play Tuesday according to the team's post on X, formerly known as Twitter. He has been dealing with a knee injury since sustaining it on February 11 when the Heat lost to the Boston Celtics. While that is great news for Miami, star Tyler Herro will be out against the Trail Blazers with a knee injury. He missed Monday's win over the Kings as it is a hyperextended left knee that has no structural damage, per an MRI. This is positive news as Herro missed most of November because of a grade 2 right ankle sprain. Other absences include Josh Richardson, who is still suffering from a shoulder injury also sustained on February 11 against the Celtics like Rozier. The same goes for big man Orlando Robinson, who has a back injury and will be out for Tuesday's contest. With the backcourt depleted due to injury, the team made a move on the buyout market to sign former Washington Wizards guard DeLon Wright. He made his debut for the Heat Monday facing the Kings and even started the game because of the multitude of absences, but still made an impact, scoring 13 points, recording 5 assists, 2 steals, and 1 block. Besides news from players involving injuries, there was absences as well on the side of suspensions, including Heat star Jimmy Butler and Nikola Jovic. Heat big man Thomas Bryant was also suspended for being involved in a separate incident, but he was hit with a 3-game absence. This means he will be eligible to come back Thursday when Miami faces off against the Denver Nuggets. Both Butler and Jovic will be returning Tuesday night against the Trail Blazers after being slapped with a 1-game suspension due to being involved in an altercation with players on the New Orleans Pelicans, including Najee Marshall. There is no doubt that their returns will be significant for the Heat as they look to make noise down the home stretch of the season. Butler would post to his social media page on Instagram a dinner he had with Jovic and Bryant as they watched their team upset Sacramento. After a 26-point performance, rookie Jamie Jaquez Jr. said the victory was dedicated to them. The Heat have turned a corner after they struggled with a 7-game losing skid as they have now won 8 of their last 10 games. Miami is 32-25 on the season, which puts them 6th in the Eastern Conference before they conclude the 6-game road trip against the Blazers Tuesday and the Nuggets Thursday. They return to the Kaseya Center Saturday against the Utah Jazz. DeAndre Ayton's scary injury gets crucial update from Blazers HC Chauncey Billups. The woes continue for the Portland Trail Blazers. On Tuesday, the team suffered its 9th straight loss against the Miami Heat, 106-96. To make things worse, center DeAndre Ayton suffered a right-hand sprain following a collision with Miami's Kevin Love during the first quarter. As Ayton attacked the basket, Love attempted to draw a charge, and the resulting collision caused Ayton to fall to the ground with his wrists in an uncomfortable position. Via Clutch Points and Blazers Nation, the Blazers' big man still saw action during the second quarter but was ruled out the entire second half. In over 18 minutes of playing time, Ayton had a double-double of 12 points and 10 rebounds. Following the game, Portland head coach Chauncey Billups said that the X-rays on Ayton's right hand came back negative. While there will be more imaging follow-ups to go, no broken bones were found. Per Blazers reporter Casey Holdall. The Blazers led by as much as 15 points during the first half and entered halftime with a 10-point cushion. However, without DeAndre Ayton's presence in the last 2 quarters, the Heat surged back, tasting their first lead of the game with 4:07 left in the third period. It was a close affair early in the fourth, but sooner or later, Miami pushed the lead to double digits and sealed the win. For the Blazers, Anthony Simons led the way with 26 points while forward Jeremy Grant added 24 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists. On the other corner, Jimmy Butler paced Miami with 22 points, 9 assists, and 4 steals. The Blazers looked to end their losing streak when they faced the Memphis Grizzlies on Friday. For NBA analyst, Heat should trade Jimmy Butler. NBA analyst Kendrick Perkins said the Miami Heat should trade star Jimmy Butler. During his appearance on ESPN's Zach Lowe's podcast, the former center commented on the bad phase of the league's current runner-up. The Heat have lost the last 7 games and are only 7th in the Eastern Conference. In other words, it is in the play-in zone. For Perkins, Heat and Jimmy Butler should follow different paths, as they have no chance of winning the NBA in 2023-24. 7 months ago, the winger led the Florida team on a surprising run into the postseason. Against all odds, Miami reached the finals. However, the team fell to the Denver Nuggets in a 5-game series. But, according to the commentator, Butler will never lead the Heat to the title. Therefore, the most logical option, according to Perkins, is an exchange involving the 34-year-old star. Thus, the former pivot defends a change of direction in the team. Perkins thinks the franchise should rebuild the team around the quartet of Bam Adebayo, Tyler Herro, Jamie Jaquez, and Terry Rozier. Miami has lost 7 straight games. So I think it's time for the Heat and Jimmy to part ways. So I think the Miami Heat need to do right by Jimmy Butler and send him to a legitimate NBA title contender. It's time for the Heat to start rebuilding their culture with youth. And that's not a bad thing. I just don't know how much is left of playoff Jimmy. After all, he is 34 years old, has a lot of minutes and a lot of wear and tear on his body. Anyway, I just don't see the Miami Heat as a title contender this season, concluded Perkins. Last month, Jimmy Butler said clearly that the Heat's NBA season is mediocre. The comment came after a home loss to the Indiana Pacers. We are exactly where we don't want to be, which is very mediocre. Not good, not bad, just mediocre. You talk about our offense, it's been mediocre. You talk about our defense, it has also been mediocre, roared the number 22. However, in the last 4 campaigns, the Heat have taken the regular season on the back burner. With the exception of 2021-22, when it was the leader of the East, in the other 3 it was not even in the top 4. In fact, in 2022-23, the team was 7th in the conference. In other words, the same position he currently occupies. But under the leadership of Jimmy Butler, the Heat often make a comeback in the NBA postseason. After all, the team reached 2 league decisions during this period, 2020 and 2022. Therefore, the expectation of the team's fans is that history will repeat itself in 2024. With the aim of strengthening itself in the short and medium term, the Heat completed a trade last week. He gave up veteran Kyle Lowry and brought in point guard Terry Rozier, who had been playing well for the Charlotte Hornets. But so far, the team continues to play well. After all, there have been 4 consecutive defeats since Rozier's arrival. Finally, Butler has a contract with the Heat until 2026. During that period, he will receive $146.4 million in salary. However, the star has the option to become an unrestricted free agent in next year's offseason. And you, fan, what do you think of the situation Jimmy Butler? Leave your opinion in the comments.